Imagine this. You open your eyes. Morning light fills your room. Everything looks normal. Your phone is on the nightstand. Your clothes are on the chair. But something feels wrong. You check your phone. No notifications. Not one. You call someone. Anyone. No answer. You step outside. The street is empty. Cars are parked, but no one is driving. No voices. No footsteps. Just wind. You are alone. Not alone in your house. Not alone in your city. Alone on Earth. Every other human being has vanished. And you have no idea why. This is not a story about zombies. Not about monsters. Not about war. This is a story about you. Alone with everything humanity built. And nothing else. What would you do? Who would you become? Let's find out. The first day is denial. You keep checking your phone. You drive through the streets honking your horn. You break into your neighbor's house because maybe they're just sleeping. They're not there. No one is there. The power still works. For now. The internet still works. For now. But every website is frozen. The last posts are from yesterday. Everyone was living their normal lives. And then nothing. You try the radio. Static. You try the television. Emergency broadcasts on loop, but they're automated. No one is speaking live. By noon, you've screamed yourself hoarse. You've cried. You've laughed at how insane this is. You've checked 100 doors, 100 cars, 100 windows. Empty. All empty. The sun sets. And for the first time in your life, you understand what true silence sounds like. No planes overhead. No distant traffic. No neighbors talking. Just your own breathing and the sound of your heart. You don't sleep that night. You sit in the dark and wait for someone to come home. No one does. The first week is survival mode. On day 2, you realize that food will become a problem. Not today, not this week, but eventually. Refrigerators will stop working when the power grid fails. And the power grid will fail. Every system humanity built requires humans to maintain it. So you start making lists. Canned food, bottled water, medicine, batteries, fuel. You drive to the nearest supermarket. The automatic doors don't work anymore, but you break through anyway. You fill shopping carts like it's the end of the world. Because it is. On day 3, you think about shelter. Your house is fine for now. But what about winter? What about security? What about flooding or fire? You start looking at maps. Where be safe long term? On day 4, you try to find answers. You break into government buildings. You search military bases. You read classified documents that no longer matter. Nothing explains what happened. No virus. No weapon. No warning. Humanity simply vanished. Except for you. On day 5, you find your first body. No, wait, not a body. Just clothes. Empty clothes lying on the ground as if someone evaporated while wearing them. And suddenly you understand. They didn't leave. They didn't hide. They're gone. Truly gone. On day 6, you almost give up. On day 7, you decide to live. The first month is adaptation. You learn skills you never thought you'd need. How to start a fire without matches. How to filter water. How to read a physical map because GPS satellites are drifting without correction. How to treat a wound because there are no doctors. You choose a permanent base. Maybe a farmhouse outside the city. Maybe a warehouse near supplies. You fortify it. You stockpile it. You make it yours. And you start talking to yourself. At first it feels crazy. Then it feels necessary. Your voice is the only human voice left. If you stop talking, you might forget how. You adopt animals. Dogs that were trapped in houses. Cats that were left behind. They don't replace human connection. But they remind you that you're not completely alone. Life still exists. Just not human life. You celebrate your birthday alone. You cook a nice meal. You light a candle. You sing to yourself. And it's the saddest and most beautiful moment of your new life. Because you chose to celebrate. You chose to remember that you matter. Even if no one else is there to say it. The first year is transformation. You stop counting days. Instead, you count seasons. Spring for planting, summer for growing, fall for harvesting, winter for surviving. You learn that gasoline expires, that medicine expires, that canned food lasts longer than you thought, but not forever. You learn which buildings are safe to enter and which might collapse. You learn that nature reclaims everything faster than you expected. Deer walk through Times Square. Wolves return to places they haven't been in centuries. Trees crack through pavement. Rivers flood without dams to control them. You become a witness to the end of civilization, and also to the beginning of something else. You find a library that's still intact. You read books you never had time for. Philosophy, history, poetry, science. You're not just surviving anymore. You're learning, growing, becoming someone new. You start writing. A journal at first, then stories, then a record of everything you see, because someone should remember, even if that someone is only you. And then come the questions that keep you awake at night. Why you? Of all the billions of people, why were you spared? Is this a punishment? A test? An accident? Or what does it mean nothing at all? What is the point of living if no one will ever know you lived? If you build something, who will see it? If you learn something, who will you teach? If you die, who will mourn? You realize that humanity wasn't just people. It was connection. It was sharing. It was building things together that no one could build alone. Language exists because we needed to talk to each other. Music exists because we needed to feel together. Love exists because we needed to matter to someone. And now you're alone with all of it. Every book, every song, every piece of art, every building, every invention, it all belongs to you. And it means nothing, because meaning was never in the things. Meaning was in the sharing. So you make a decision. You will keep creating, keep building, keep writing. Not because anyone will see it, but because that's what humans do. We make things. We leave marks. We say, I was here, even when no one is listening. Years pass, maybe decades. You grow old in a world that grows wild. Cities become forests. Roads become rivers. Skyscrapers become monuments to a species that disappeared. And one day, you sit on a hill at sunset. You're tired, content, ready. You've lived a life that no human has ever lived. You saw things no one else will ever see. You felt loneliness that no poem could capture. And you survived, not just physically, but spiritually. You found meaning in a meaningless situation. You found purpose without anyone to share it with. As the sun goes down, you think about everyone who vanished. Your family, your friends, strangers you never met. Billions of stories that ended without warning. And your story, the one that continued, the one that refused to end quietly. You close your eyes, and somewhere in the universe, maybe something is watching. Maybe something remembers. Maybe humanity's last representative showed them what we were capable of. Courage without an audience. Dignity without recognition. Life without reason. Or maybe not. Maybe no one is watching. Maybe this was all for nothing. But you did anyway. And that has to count for something. This was the story of the last human on Earth. A thought experiment about loneliness, meaning, and what makes us human. If you were that person, what would you do differently? Would you search for answers? Build a legacy? Or simply live each day as it came? Let me know in the comments. And if this story made you think, consider subscribing. More stories are coming. Stories about impossible situations and the humans who face them. Until next time, thank you for listening. And remember, you're not alone. Not today.